What up, you beauties? This episode is brought to you by Top Cheese Hockey Wax, trusted by players and greasy pigeons everywhere who take their game seriously. Head to topcheesehockeywax.com and use code PIGEON10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. Top Cheese Hockey Wax. Grip it and rip it. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Greasy Pigeon Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Sullivan, and with me, as always, there he is, pumpkin spice latte in hand, little pumpkin face moisturizer to get ready for the dry season. One and only Kevin Trussler. Kevin, how you liking the first couple of days of unofficial fall?
We're still waiting for that unofficial fall weather here in Florida, but from what I hear in other parts of the country, it's rather nice. It is that pumpkin spice latte feel, but down here it's still summertime.
Well, if we wait for the weather to tell us it's fall down here, it'll be right around Christmas. I think the tree will be up by then. So you got to kind of take the small wins where you can get it. And it was less humid for about 12 minutes over Labor Day weekend. So I will take the start of what is changing this season, which will be nice.
Yep, no doubt. But yeah, hockey is in full effect down here, so that means fall is upon us and we're ready to kick it off. I know the kids have started, and the big boys are about to hit camp, and I mean it's a good time of year.
Absolutely. There's a lot of starts, as you've seen on Facebook. The junior camps, showcases, make it or break it's are happening currently. Arrival dates and report dates have come and gone for a lot of places. Our collegiate teams that we follow with players and friends of the show that are on at the collegiate level, they've started media days and things like that. So the socials are blowing up. But Kev, part of the nice weather that you and I got to experience over Labor Day weekend for us took place at Advent Health Center Ice, the massive Florida BarnBurner Labor Day hockey tournament. It's become a staple in Florida. I'll give the organizers credit for that. I believe Jeff Ning still runs that, who is also part of Sehoff and the SFHL here in Florida, runs the youth programs, or at least is super heavily involved in running the youth programs along with the board and whatnot. He runs the BarnBurner tournament, and they put on an impressive event when you think about it. It took place across 5 of the area rinks throughout the weekend. I mean, we wanted to see friends of ours and kids play, and we couldn't even get there because they're in Brandon. We're in Wesley Chapel. The next game's in Oldsmar. It's everywhere. So we went to Wesley Chapel on Saturday evening. I saw some friends, talked to a couple players who, as the show goes on, you will hear from 2 of them, Adam Saleh and Bryce Hockemeyer, of the local. One's Tampa Bay Crunch, one is Junior Mocs out of Lakeland. Gave us great interviews, great talking to the kids, getting their feel for kind of what they're up to in different age groups, right? Adam is a first year 14. No, I'm sorry. Adam's a 12U and Bryce is a first year 14U. So you kind of get that split there. But I mean, just your thoughts on talking to those 2 kids and kind of what you saw at Advent Health over the weekend.
Well, first thoughts were like great young men, right? Committed to the game. They were very informative as to, how their teams were looking, what their game was looking like, and, where they wanted to go with this season and moving forward. So, yeah, it's excited to see young guys not willing to jump on with us and talk and, you know, watching some of their games there, watching them give it all. That's awesome to see. You mentioned the rinks being packed. It was awesome to see, so many different teams in the area coming together for the kickoff, for the showcase kickoff here. It's always fun to get a barometer as to how your team is looking after that first tournament. But again, it's so early in the season for those that maybe didn't show as well as they wanted to. It's a great reminder as to, this is where your team's at and you know what to work on moving forward before the regular season games kick off. And that's where it's really important.
So let me ask you a question, because we talked to a couple players and friends of ours that we saw at the rink and some coaches, and they didn't have, a great weekend. And some of that is an indication of, where the team is right now. Some of that is where the team just may be. They're going to have and we've been on those teams where it's a long haul, and the wins come in places other than on the scoreboard, individually in growth and development. And just because the scoreboard or the record may not indicate a air quote successful season, there is a lot of wins that come out of that season. My son won, much like the Peach Kings, 141-2. My son went 130 something and whatever in one of his Pee Wee years as the only goalie. And the development of that season was leaps and bounds better than anything he experienced in a lot of other seasons, even with better win records. The point of all this, Kevin, I'm asking you, on the other side, there was teams that have come out of there winning their division that people didn't think had a shot. So obviously you want to win, you want to come out of there feeling high, but let's be honest, Kev, is that a good thing going into the season? If you didn't think you were that good, or maybe you were going to have to fight for it and you go out and you produce, is that a better place to be? Or do you want to be the other team that maybe did not as well, mediocre, and has a little bit of chip on their shoulder?
The biggest challenge that I saw was when you win that first tournament, it's the expectations then from the parents, from the players. Do they think that they're that good and they don't have to work on anything? That can sometimes backfire on you. That's going to be the key for those that have had success. For the ones that didn't have success, hopefully they'll look inward and not get on one another. It's easy to get down on a couple players if you feel someone didn't produce as well as they should, but know that it's a long season. I mean, and it's kids, right? You got to take the good with the bad, and there's good that comes out of games where you lose. That's how you grow. And when you win, you don't want your head to get too big and feel like you've got things already figured out, because it can change in a heartbeat how quickly the game can humble you when you're on that high. So again, from a coaching perspective, it's like you don't want people to get too high, you don't want people to get too low. It's maintaining the goal of winning that last game of the season. That's the mantra that we always looked at, right?
Yeah, expectation can be something to look for and help you. It can also be a very heavy weight on the shoulders of a lot of people. And winning cures everything until the expectation of winning takes over. And then it doesn't take long for the cracks start to show and that start to fall apart. So hopefully everybody's got a level head. 4 games in September do not determine your season. There's a long way to go. A lot can happen. And as we know from both sides, you can be the number one and not reach the pinnacle of the mountain, and you can be average and reach the pinnacle. So it's the growth, the development, the fight, the structure, the whole thing. Be the team, be the room. Bryce, had some great things to say, as you'll hear in a couple segments, talking about what his team needs and what he thinks his team needs and can do better. And he is 100% right. The communication, the growing as a team, the development piece, that's your focus right now. Skill development, right? All the X's and O's, but communication and team building. Start there and see what happens come January, February.
Yep, you're building a house one brick at a time. Each practice, each game, it's coming out with positives at the end of it. So yeah, it was great to hear those young guys talk, and again, seeing some of the parents that we haven't seen in a while. Just wish everyone good luck and realize that it goes quickly. As one that is now in university, it's gone before you know it. So enjoy these moments and pick them up. Don't be that parent on the car ride home making it not fun. These kids want to win no matter what. Uh, you know, it's a long, long season. So I wish everyone good luck there, and looking forward to seeing how things progress for sure.
Absolutely. My number one rule, parents, have fun. Keep it fun and have fun. Enjoy the ride. The wins and losses are just the tangible part of the entire experience. Enjoy the rest of it. Have a good time and have a lot of fun. A little different structure to today's show. We have a couple pre-recorded segments. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to cut to Adam and Bryce. And then at the end of the show, you will hear from our guest, Clearwater Ice Storm coach Brent Fuller, who will give us some insight from the coaching angle. So enjoy today's show and check us out on the socials. And yeah, that's it. Have fun.
Hey, beauties. Season started? Not getting the birds to chirp your way? Head on over to greasypigeon.com for some gear.
Hey everybody, we're here at the BarnBurner Labor Day Tournament, Wesley Chapel, Advent Health Center. I'm here with Slunch Defenseman Adam Saleh. Adam, what age group are you playing, and what is your first game this weekend?
My age group is 12U AA, and the first game we're playing is against at 5 against the Bulldogs.
Have you played? Is this your first year at 12U, or are you a second year at 12U?
Second year.
Second year. So now that you're the old man in the room, what are some big changes you think your game's going to have this year that maybe it didn't have last year?
Faster. That's the game.
Is there many returning players to this team? Did you skate with a lot of these guys last year? Or yeah, how many newbies are on it?
New ones like 34.
Okay, perfect. Good off season. What'd you do in the off season to prepare yourself for this season?
I did like
Off ice training. Yeah, awesome.
Did you do any tournaments or any games over the summer? How much ice time do you have?
2 tournaments, and then I did 1 camp in Sweden.
Camp in Sweden. So our buddy Sammy, who was on the nest with us a lot, is from Sweden. How did you like the Sweden camp? I got to know a little bit more about that.
One of my friends came, and then there were some cool friends I met from Colorado there, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. What was there something that was like super different about playing hockey in Sweden versus kind of playing hockey maybe here in Florida?
The ice is better.
The ice is better.
Even in the summertime, eh? Is better.
Yeah, but they close a lot of the rinks in the summer because it's like expensive there.
Yeah, awesome. So, asking you about your game, are you more of a defensive defenseman or are you more offensive?
Defensive.
Defensive, I like it. You'd have a spot on my squad, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Kevin loves the defensive defenseman. So you talk about your game being faster and having coached 12U and then 14U. That's a big part of the game. Decision making, right, happens a lot faster. The ice, your space gets closed down faster, even at 12U, right? So are you ready, do you think, for that puck moving, get the puck up and out? Like, how do you think your game is going to have to change because of that difference in speed?
A little bit different.
I agree. I think it's going to be a lot faster, and the decision making is that much faster. What's your coach telling you guys about the difference in the games? Like, what is he telling you to expect today?
Like, there might be like more hitting.
Yeah. More body contact?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. Are you
It's
are you a fan of body contact?
yeah.
Yeah. You'd like to give it of course?
Yeah.
Get in there and lay the shoulder a little bit? Attaboy, we like that on the Greasy Pigeon podcast, buddy. We like that.
What's your favorite NHL team and who's your favorite player?
The Boston Bruins.
Austin
buddy,
Bruins. All
buddy.
right.
Oh, you are primed to be on this show right now, my friend.
Attaboy, I like it. And who's your favorite player?
Charlie McAvoy.
Boy, defensive defenseman, right?
Yep. Oh, he's got some offensive power.
Now, when you watch, I know that YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, where you see all the highlights, it's super easy to see the highlights. When you see highlights of guys like McAvoy or even other defensemen, Eric Carlson, Burns a little older, these brothers, McCarr, are you looking at their game thinking, I want to do that, I'm going to add that? And what do you see from them that you think you want to do?
I want to get up sometimes and play a little bit offensive and like get more like shots and like, yeah. And blocking more shots too.
Awesome. Yeah. The goalies love defensemen that are willing to put their body on the line and block those shots.
Hopefully your coach doesn't get mad at us, but we'll tell you right now, if the ice is available, always take the ice, bud. Unless you got to change, then get the red line, dump it in, and head to the bench, of course. 100% always the way to do it.
How do you feel about this season? You feel good going into it?
Yeah, better than last year.
Okay. Awesome.
How many is the only AA team at the Crunch?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys, the
1 double and there's 2 centers.
perfect. So you guys work with them a lot on the ice? You practice together at all, or no? So it's separate.
We practiced with like 3 line kids though.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them was on our team last year, so they practiced with us.
Awesome, absolutely. All right, so we'll give you a couple kind of rapid fire jobs, and then get you out of here. You do have a game to play. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us. So let's see. Kevin already asked your favorite NHL team and favorite player. What is your favorite thing to eat before a game?
Chicken.
Chicken, nice. Chicken nuggets or like chicken salad?
Chicken.
Just
Like,
chicken.
in the
Straight up.
car, yeah.
Straight up chicken. Love it. What's your favorite like cheat meal? Like if you just want to sit down and like pig out on a couch on a Saturday, what are you eating?
Ice cream.
Ah, hell yeah, buddy. Favorite either song or type of music to like pump yourself up in the car before you come inside?
Like rap or rock.
Nice, perfect. And then do I get one?
I was going to say, what's your favorite stick? What's the make?
My favorite. I use Division. I want the Pro 2 though.
All right. We'll put a tag in there for Mom and Dad.
Pro 2 right there for Adam. Well, listen, Adam, I hope you go kick ass today on the ice. Lay that shoulder, play smart hockey, take the ice when it's available. We appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us, and great luck today and this season, bud. Thank
Awesome,
you.
bud. Good luck. Later.
We're joined by Bryce Hockemeyer.
Forward or defenseman, Bryce?
Defenseman.
Defenseman with the 14UA Junior Mocs out of Lakeland. We're here again at Advent Health Center Ice at the BarnBurner Labor Day tournament. Bryce, you played a couple games so far this weekend. What's your thoughts on how things have started?
I think they've started not that good, but I think we'll progress through the year. We'll talk more, and we need to learn our communication.
Learning communication, that's a big piece to understand of that need for well, good team management and how to play it.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest kind of thing you think you need to work on right now, or is there some X's and O's that need to be figured out?
For me, I think I need to practice shooting, stick handling, and learning how to hit better and cleaner.
Absolutely.
No, I think that's key that you're working on that. Are you doing it at home at all? In the driveway, in the garage?
I take a weight in like an old stick that I use.
Okay.
And then I like to get a really heavy ball, stick handle that through like some mulch or something.
Okay.
Like as defenders, then go shoot. And I like to do that before like school or stuff like that.
Perfect. Yeah, you can only get better, right? By practicing at home. So.
Well, and you just said it right before school, right? You're doing things on your own, in and out of where you need to be, and you're doing them at home, and you're making them harder, right? Dmitry Afinosenkov, we had on the show, he talks a lot about that. His whole upbringing in Russia was the hard thing and how to do it harder. So the fact that you're putting the reps in ahead of time, all the greats say that's what it takes. So you're already well ahead of the game. What do you see as far as the season moves on, your team comes together, you start talking more? I mean, what do you think of your chances on having a good run this year?
I think we'll have a really good run as long as we learn how to communicate, stick handle, and get better shots off.
Absolutely.
Is this a newer group? Is there a lot of new players working together? So this is like the first time that you guys are...
There's like 4 or 5 people who are pretty new.
Okay.
But us veterans are really teaching them well, and they're getting better.
Perfect.
What is coach telling you guys as far as so far this weekend, right? Like, what is he telling you to work on right now? And then what has he told you kind of leading up to this weekend on things to focus on?
He wants us to focus on hitting, being more aggressive to the puck, and passing better and calling it out when you want to pass.
So are you a first year 14U or second year?
I'm first year.
First year. So this is your first introduction to that body contact.
Yes.
So how is that game changing for you with the body contact and the physicality?
Because I'm used to 12U where you can just take it, stick handle, pass it to people. Now it's a whole nother game. You can't go down the boards or else you're going to get rocked, because it's all about positioning on the boards. So I think before I get the puck, I see who's open, I try to pass it, or I try to take it up, depends on where that person is.
Do you feel that the time and space that you have, being that you are a minor, playing against major kids that have played before and hit before, is it a lot quicker, a lot stronger, a lot faster?
A lot quicker and stronger, mainly because they're just so much bigger, and they've probably got more coaching, and that jump from first year 14U to second year is huge.
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, you're going to find as the season goes on, you get more comfortable. The hockey game's still the same, right? It's just going to slow it down. So Bryce, as far as your game goes, are you more of an offensive or defensive player?
I like to play more offense, but because I have a partner that's learning how to play, I like to play more middle because I want to get shots off, but I also want to play good defense and try to stop them.
So smart. What about the forwards? They got to be covering you. If you've got a lane to take it, are the forwards covering you, or is that part of the communication that you got to work on with the team?
Part of the communication we need to work on.
Awesome. Absolutely. So as far as, like you mentioned, the game getting faster, right? And we actually talked to a 12U player earlier, Adam, and they talked about how his transition is now the game's faster for him, right?
Yeah.
Every level you go, it gets faster. Kevin's son's playing at the collegiate level now, and my son's playing in junior. Like, the game always continues to get faster until you get to the NHL, and then it's just always fast, right? So what are you seeing as far as, as a defenseman, right? Pucks on your stick, you're deep in your zone. Are you seeing the time and space go away faster? Or are you seeing, like, what is different for you, and how are you overcoming that?
I'm losing a lot of time and space, but I like to look up before I do anything and see who's open, see if I have an open lane, or see if I have a good shot.
Awesome.
Yeah. Shoulder checking all the time. You got to check. You always head on a swivel. Else you're going to get buried, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't want that. So, yeah. Is your goaltender communicating with you as a defenseman?
No, not really.
Okay. That's definitely something that, definitely talk to your goaltender. Right? The game's in front of them, right? While you're coming back. So.
And a lot of that is the goalie being comfortable with the defenseman. Again, my son being a goalie, right, playing junior, he's worked hard on that. That's a skill that a lot of goalies learn, is how to communicate. And then what do they need to say? You may not understand what he's trying to say to you, so you have to say it in a different way. So it's that communication back and forth, right? Telling him what you want him to say to you. and all that. But overall, man, I mean, what is your kind of message to the room? If you were to stand up in front of the room right now and kind of give them a quick, here's where we are, what do we need? What would you tell your team?
We need to be quicker on our feet. We need to be smarter, and we need to pass better.
Absolutely. All good messaging basics, right?
It's a long season. Like we said before, right? The game isn't won on Labor Day weekend. It's how you progress as the season goes on.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
keep the room light, have fun. What's the team doing tonight? Anything together at all?
We have a game at 9:55.
9-5.
Oh, let's skate for you. Rest your legs.
Yeah,
All right.
Western Conference.
That's right.
Start.
Western Hockey League stuff right here. All right. Well, on that, then let's get into some couple fun questions for you.
Okay.
Since you got another game later, you had a game now. What is the in-between game meal going to be?
Some Chipotle, maybe.
Okay. Is that your go-to kind of pregame meal, or what is your go-to pregame meal or food?
Usually like some toast and milk, maybe.
Really? Okay. Interesting. All right. What about your cheat day meal? You're sitting on the couch on a Saturday. It's yucky weather. You got to pick
Definitely
out
Chipotle.
Chipotle. Awesome. Awesome. Good deal. Favorite NHL player?
You've asked me this again, and
Yeah.
I think I've kind of changed.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Bobby Orr.
Really?
Oh, we're
Old
going
school. Old school.
All right.
Do you watch, so as a defenseman, do you watch any current defensemen that you try to learn from their game?
No, because I just started playing last week, and I think
Okay.
and my coach recommended that for me, so I'm gonna start that definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Find a player that as coaching for a long time, our recommendation, find a player that looks like they fit your game. If you're not Eric Carlson, don't go watch Eric Carlson, right? Like if you're a McCarr, if you're like, see whose game you like and then see what they do and then take pieces from that, right? You can't go out there and be Charlie McAvoy, but you can go out and play like Charlie McAvoy. Right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of figure out what that looks like.
Yeah, the same goes when you're on the ice, right? When you're on the bench, pick the best player on the other team and watch what they're doing, right? That's how you steal with your eyes and ears, and you add it to your game. So, favorite team? I think we might have asked this before, but
I don't
maybe
think
not.
so.
No, all right.
My favorite team, like an all-time team,
Just
or
favorite team to root for.
probably the Lightning.
Okay.
Right on. Favorite music to listen to, like hype music in the car, heading to the rink.
I usually like a mix of Ken Carson, Playboy Cardi, and Osamason.
Those are rappers, Kevin.
Not rappers as in wrapping gifts.
No, those are rappers, Kevin. So we'll leave it right there. Bryce, wish you all the best. Appreciate you taking a few minutes talking to us here in the Pigeon's Nest. And good luck not only this weekend, but rest of the season. And I'm sure we'll find you again before it ends.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thanks,
bud.
buddy.
Welcome back, everybody. After two great interviews with two just up and coming young men, Adam and Bryce, just absolutely killing it. Not, for a 12-year-old Kevin and a 14-year-old, what they did for us and talking to us. I mean, I think it's awesome and it's something to grow on. And now we get the privilege of transitioning the game, right? We hear from the kids. Now let's hear from a coach. And a local coach and a Florida coach and a Tampa Bay coach, someone that's teaching these kids every day, that's been around for a long time and that has a lot of knowledge institutionally of what we're doing in Florida. So we're super pleased to be joined by Brent Fuller. Brent is a coach at Clearwater Ice Storm, 16U this year. He's been a coach in Florida for 13 years between the now defunct Scorpions program, which produced a lot of talent, a lot of good players. I've been at Clearwater Ice Storm since the inception of the program, and manages to find time to coach Freedom High School at the same time. So much knowledge, and we're super excited to have you. So Brent, man, welcome to the Greasy Pigeon podcast, and thank you for joining us in the nest.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Don't be too honored. It's just me and Kevin. But man, let's I just want to start basic, man. What is your hockey journey? What got you into the sport, and kind of what's your upbringing?
Yeah, so I grew up right outside of Toledo, Ohio. So I was about 45 minutes from Detroit. And growing up, we had Red Wings season tickets. So I have two younger brothers that all three of us wanted to play hockey. Grew up going to the games, watching hockey on TV. Mom and Dad said, "Hey, let's do skating lessons first. If you make it through skating lessons, then we'll talk about buying equipment." So all three of us did skating lessons. I was the only one that made it through. The other two said, "This isn't for me." So made it through. My dad said, "Okay, we'll buy the equipment then." So back then, you didn't buy new equipment. Everybody was hand-me-downs. They have sales at the rink of used equipment. So we went and got equipment. Started with a learn to play program. And from there, I took off with hockey, going to the Red Wings games, watching the Wings. But then the other thing that helped was I grew up in the same neighborhood as Gordie Howe Jr. And so we got really close with Murray House is Gordie's son. They lived in our neighborhood, and Gordie Jr. played sports with my brother, so we were over there a lot playing with them. But we'd skate at the house with Big Gordy. He'd in the winters they'd have the rink
So
out back.
cool.
Yeah, he'd come out and skate with us. He would be at our school picking up the kids. Anytime we'd have a fundraiser, like they gave out prizes or whatever, the Howes were always the top kids because they went to Grandpa, and Grandpa would just write a check, which was awesome. But like the cool thing about Gordy was like Gordy never said no to any of the kids. It was always, hey, can I get a picture? Can you sign this? Always really nice to the kids, always signing stuff, taking pictures. And the funny thing is he would tell the parents, like, I'll do this for the kids all day. I'm charging $125 for this autograph tomorrow. He'd go to autograph signings, and he did a lot of stuff for the school. Having Gordy around kind of helped me get into the game, really get into the game.
So Gordy, did he ever throw any elbows
Um,
out there on the backyard rink every now and then for those that maybe a Gordie Howe hat trick for
yeah,
the older kids?
once or twice. Once or twice. When I was younger, I kind of got how big of a star Gordy was or how good he was. And then once I started getting older and I realized it, like, yeah, he was really good. So my claim to fame is being able to, grow up with Gordy.
Hearing that, it just, Wayne Gretzky repeats the same thing, right? Gordie Howe, he held on a pedestal, never said no to the kids. And that's something that Wayne, followed in his footsteps. So to hear that from someone in the neighborhood, that is unbelievable,
Yeah. Yeah. So played rec and travel all up until high school. And then Ohio, high school is a varsity sport there. So played 4 years of high school, and then ended up going to play club hockey at Eastern Kentucky University. Played there for a couple years. Nobody thinks of Kentucky for hockey, but it's kind of what you expect. Games are at midnight. Everybody starts tailgating at 9 p.m. The games are just rowdy. That was a blast. The boys are buzzing. We get in there. I mean, the stands were really low, so was the glass. So if there was a fight near the glass, there's guys stealing the other guy's elbow pads or gloves, and I mean, just a wild scene. It's like something out of the Danbury Trashers, like is what it reminds. And I get done at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'm exhausted. I just want to go to bed, and I'm driving one of my buddy's cars home, and they're wanting to keep partying. I'm like, guys, I'll drop you off wherever you want, but I'm going home and going to bed. Like, I'll see you guys in the morning. But so played a few years there. I moved back to Sylvania after college and started coaching at the back of my high school, Sylvania Northview. Was there coaching for 3 years. I was the JV head coach, and then moved down to Florida in 2010 and took some time off to get acclimated here in Florida with job and living situation and all that. And then after about 3 years, I started getting the itch again to go back and coach. And I just started emailing programs around, asking if anybody needed a coach. And the Scorpions happened to respond and said, yeah, we could use a coach. So hopped on as an assistant coach with the Scorpions. I think it was a first year Pee Wee team, and coached there, and then took those kids up for 3 or 4 years, and then stuck with the program for 6 until they defuncted. And then Ice Storm came calling and said, hey, we'd love to have you. So moved over there, and I've been with for the most part, same group of kids for this is year 7 now. So, and
So
then,
you started with them at the Scort age and been
yep.
with them ever since.
Yeah, it's we've got a great group of kids and families that we've kind of tried to keep the nucleus together and kind of move up with them. So, and then with Freedom, it was a funny story. The coach happened to quit the week before tryouts, and so they were at tryouts, and they didn't have a coach, and Dave Special, who is now the coach, I've been with him for 9 years. He was my assistant coach when I was coaching with the Ice Storm, or I'm sorry, with the Scorpions, and his son was on my teams, and so he called me and said, "Hey, I helped you out. You want to help me out?" So I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And I've been with him for, this is year 9, and this is going to be my last year of high school. So it's been a wild ride here in Florida coaching hockey.
We know how that is, that's for sure. I guess that leads to a question that I have. What have you seen have been, the positives over the years, and some of the challenges with Florida hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Lightning have done a great job with growing the game in Florida. Panthers too. I think the learn to play programs that they have going now, where you get the full equipment and everything. I mean, I think it's $250 now or something. That's unheard of.
Yep.
I mean, that's unbelievable. And I will say they're doing a great job with the girls program also. I got twin girls that are 7, and I was on the dad side of it last year. They decided, hey, we want to try ice skating. So they did an all girls learn to skate. Skating wasn't their thing, but they also had an all girls ball hockey, and they absolutely loved that. And so that's something that, like, hey, can we do ball hockey again? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I mean, and I see that now that Sehoff has a league, and Lightning are getting behind that, and so are the Panthers. So, I mean, to see where from when I started the first year to year 13 now, what has happened with hockey. I mean, we all know we're out of ice. We need more ice in this.
Yeah.
And I think that, the game's really grown. So,
And I think that's the biggest piece that everyone misses. And we've talked about it almost at nauseum on the show, especially in the last 6 months. We've had, Lee Zerfus talked about it. We've had other people on. Dimitri talked about it. He even talked about it in Connecticut, right? Where we think of the Northeast has ice everywhere. And I mean, I'm from New Hampshire, right? Played out of Boston, Sully's first 6 years of hockey, or whatever it was, 3 years, 4 years of hockey. There is ice everywhere, but they still need more ice. Like, there's just not enough ice for the explosion of the game. And the problem is, I mean, look at the shitstorm that started down in Palm Beach Gardens with Larry Robbins and Wayne Gretzky building that rink, and all these people are up in arms at the price tag. Well, it doesn't cost $60 million to build an ice rink. Really? Damn near it costs $60 million to build a house nowadays. Like, what are you talking about? It doesn't cost $60 million. Like, everything's expensive, right? Like, so these rinks aren't just going to pop up, and you don't need a 1-sheet rink. You need a 2 or a 4-sheet rink. What Advent Health should be the model, but how much would it cost to build Advent Health today? So the ice isn't there. The ice is needed. And now you've got the fight for like rec, and you've got the fight for rec select, and you've got the fight for travel, and just all of the above. So I guess my question to you, Brent, is, from your experience in the game, playing it and then coaching it for all these years, talk to that parent or, that family. That kid wants to get in. They don't know if they want to do travel. They don't know if they want to do rec, but they're hearing all the things from everybody. What is your advice to that family to get their player involved in the sport? What would you just tell them flat out, this is what you should do just to get started?
yeah, go to the local rink, watch rec games, watch travel games, watch a high school game. Take a look at that first. Then if they're interested, go do a learn to play, or I'd say learn to skate first. Do the skating lessons first. See if that's something they like. If they, after a session, don't like it, okay, it's not for them. If they do like it, okay, then let's look at doing the learn to play program. I mean, we just talked about ice time. Like, when I growing up in high school, our practices were 5 a.m. before school. We'd go to the rink, you practice, you showered, we'd run to Burger King, go grab breakfast, do a little homework, and then you're on to school. I mean, the ice problem is, just a big issue right now that's facing the kids in Florida.
Copy a little homework at that time of morning, or did you actually do a little homework?
A little of both.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
we're all in that
Sharing
same boat,
notes.
buddy. All in that. Yeah.
Yep.
Sharing notes. That's a good way to put it. I like it.
Brent, though, like, it's one of the things, like, I grew up in a small town in Ontario. When it came to practices in the morning, we weren't having kids, coming from, 45 minutes, possibly an hour away. I think we've talked about it a little bit before about ice time in the morning. In theory, it sounds fantastic. But when you do have players that are coming from different parts of town that is nowhere near the rink, that's where it becomes a challenge, I think, with at least coaching, right? If you're going to have the ice, you want your entire team to be able to participate. And, that's probably the one thing that, we've talked about with Florida hockey that sort of is a challenge where they don't do it geographically, so to speak. They do for high school, but travel is a different animal where, if you're willing to drive an hour, hour and a half to where you want to play, that can be doable. The morning practices I'm all about. That's something that I did growing up, but I think that's probably one of the biggest issues when it comes to specifically travel. In-house, definitely there could be that option, but that depends on what the commitment level looks like for those folks. So, that's my 2 cents. I don't know, is that what you're seeing too?
Yeah, for the most part. Another thing that I would say is negatives down here is you got a lot of parents who have never played the game and have never been around the game that much, and they think that they know everything about hockey. And I mean, we see it all the time is, well, why isn't little Johnny playing power play, or why isn't he doing this, or why isn't he getting more ice time? Well, they don't see the back end of it of little Johnny has a bad attitude on the bench, or at practice he's not working his butt off. He's over in the corner screwing around, shooting pucks when coaches are talking, things like that. And little Johnny doesn't tell mom and dad that. That's why they're not playing. They want to put it on the coaches.
Yeah, 100%. And not only that, sometimes at the higher levels, right? Little Johnny's the eighth best forward on the team. So there's not power play minutes for that kid, right? And that doesn't devalue. And here's what the parents don't understand. And again, we've tried to educate. And I will say that, this weekend especially heard from a few parents that actually thanked us for the education that we are allowed to provide them. They come and listen to the show or watch us on YouTube, and they get the education from coaches like yourself and others that we brought on. And Kevin's and my's knowledge, mine's significantly reduced compared to guys like you and Kevin, but been around the game my whole life and seen the game and learned the game. And what they don't see, if it's not on the scoreboard, it doesn't count. And I think that's something that coaches struggle so hard with getting a point across. We don't struggle with presenting that message. We present the message very well. Most coaches, 99% of coaches, have no issue presenting that message in the preseason meeting. However, the reception of that message from the parents is where that doesn't happen. That's where it does not compute, right? So the parent thinks that Johnny doesn't score. Well, the coach is, Johnny, why isn't Johnny scoring? Yeah, but I don't need Johnny to score. The Dmitry Afanasenkov. I need Johnny to go in the corner and muck it up and get the puck to the other defenseman so we can clear the zone and come back to the bench. That's all I need Johnny to do. And there's a long career for guys like that. So as far as your philosophy and dealing with the players, every coach has one. Kevin's is just like Claude Julien, win every game 1-0. Just play defense all the time. Do nothing, score one goal, 1-3-1, back it up and be done. That's Kevin's philosophy the whole time. Other coaches,
Jeff, I can tell you from experience, I coach against Kevin, so I know.
Yes. Other coaches. Okay, so at Freedom, you coach against Kevin and Dave, and talk about a juxtaposition, right? Dave Bowden, great coach, right? Good friend of ours. He wants to win every game 17-0, right? You're up 1-0, let's go up 10-0 and let's keep scoring, right? So there's coaching. Every coach has a different theory. What is Brent's theory of coaching? If you're putting your team together, you're in that room, you're having that conversation. What are you telling your boys to provide you to win a game?
The biggest thing for me is every shift, I want all you got. If it's a 20-second shift, great. You went out there and you busted your butt and you're exhausted, come to the bench. Never going to have an issue with that. But if you're over there not skating hard and you're not clearing your zone, you're not in the neutral zone battling, I mean, that's where I have an issue. And I see a lot of kids that don't want to back check. That's one thing that we preach is, hey, you're an all-around player. You're not just because you're a forward doesn't mean you can't back check. Doesn't mean you can't come help out in the zone on an odd man rush. So that's the biggest thing is, every shift you're going as hard as you can. Ice time isn't given, it's earned. And if you're not earning your ice time, that's on you. That's not on the coaches. So something I preach.
Yeah, and that's sometimes when you're in the midst of it, right? Kids will forget, and that's where if you have tape and you can go back to the tape because tape doesn't lie. to show where some, again, strengths and weaknesses, right? Areas of improvement. Brent, what's your philosophy as far as positioning goes? You've been able to have a team for, you said the past 7 years. Starting out, were you married to having players play certain positions? Were you trying to get people outside of their comfort zone to play defense versus center or forward wing? What's your philosophy on that?
It's funny you say that because we had a kid that played for us. Great kid, great family, and he came to us as a defenseman a couple years ago. And towards the end of the season, we said, "Hey, let's give him a look up front." Towards playoff or Sehoff and everything, played forward. Came out this weekend, played forward. Ended up having 5 goals and was tournament MVP as a forward. So it's like I mean, I have a couple kids that we started on D and we've moved up to forward now. That hey, you're a better fit up here than you are on D. I don't want kids to be stuck to one position. I want them to try it all. And growing up, I played every position. I was even the third string goalie in high school. We didn't have a goalie in practice. I was putting on the pads, So I kind of like to do it all, and so that's why I like to see kids learn to be able to play every position. Because so if somebody's missing, it's an easy fit.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Until you're about 16, you shouldn't have a pigeon, unless you're a goalie. Pretty much at that age, you shouldn't have a pigeonholed position. And never mind forward versus D. We've had players demand that they're only a center, right? Like even in the NHL, centers move to wings. Like the forward is a forward. So that mindset that I have to play the one spot, not the other, it limits growth, it limits development, and it hurts the player in the long run. I think you've probably seen that in your past.
100%.
Specifically, you get to college hockey, right? Whether it's club or D3 or D1. I mean, if you're going to a school that has 5 right wingers, guess what? You want to be the sixth. That means you're going to be in the stands watching. So the more you can be a chameleon and learn, the better you are as a player. It just makes you that much more, plug and play.
Yeah, Kevin, you and I had this conversation recently about Carter playing at Tennessee. Positioning and where he was going to fit in.
Yeah, they tried to put him in net, but he wouldn't budge on that one.
He's a walrus. So, Brent, before we let you go, really appreciate kind of the dive into your hockey brain and outlook and vision from the bench. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your team this year and specifically the Labor Day weekend tournament. And good showing over the weekend, I think, is safe to say. And kind of what's your outlook on the season and kind of what's your thoughts on the squad you got built for this season?
Yeah, so with the Ice Storm, we actually have 5 U16 teams this year, and we are a pure 2010 team. We're playing single A, but we didn't really know what to expect going into the season with physicality, size, that type of stuff. We went into this weekend not knowing what to expect and came out winning the tournament, so that was a huge plus for us. I think that, and we're coming off, we won states last year in the single A top division Orange for 14. So we moved up. So, going into the season, we saw some teams, but we don't really know what to expect coming in with all 2010s. So we are going to play in Dallas at the CCM as in the 15 division. And then we'll do some local tournaments. And then in February, we'll hit Colorado Springs. And the plan is to play AA there to get ready for states if we feel that we're ready to play AA. If not, then we'll stay in a single A. But I think.
And that's for next season, Brent? Like, sort of gauge it for next season? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, everybody's like, well, we need to play AA. We need to play AA. Well, if we're not ready for AA, we're not going AA.
Sound familiar, Kev?
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's one of those where, hey, be a big fish in a small pond for the short time you are in your life, and as long as you are continuing to push the needle, and a great barometer is playing in AA tournaments to see how you stack up. Specifically as a minor team, right? You're the minor of that age group, so no, I fully endorse that, 100%.
Brent, I want to follow up, and I know our time is running short here, but I got one follow up because it's going to tie nicely with the conversation Kevin and I had to start the show. teams that went into this weekend, a team like yours, you didn't know what to expect. You're the perfect example. Like the radio gods, the podcast gods are shining down on us, Kevin, to put a bow on this thing. You didn't know what to expect going into the weekend. You go in, you win the tournament. What now? Like your parents got expectations. The kids, are they little, chins held high, chest puffy? Like you go out, what happens if you go out and lose your next 2 games, right? Like how do you now temper the start to your season when now there is expectation? Would you rather be in this boat? I know everyone wants to win a tournament, take home a banner, right? Or would you rather have maybe been, I'll say, just average with some things to work? Like, what do you think now based on opening weekend moving forward?
Yeah, so I mean, we had some players and some parents concerned because we were playing in the lower division, but we put ourselves there because like I said, we didn't know what to expect. Now, the first 2 games we won 10-0 each, but we found out real quick that they were the lower teams in the tournament. We went on the 3rd game, we won 5-0. The very next morning, we played that same team, we beat 5-0, won 4-3 in overtime, and then go to the championship game and win 4-2. So it wasn't like it was all blowouts. It was, close for those last couple games. And, what we told the parents and what we told the kids is, hey, we want to build confidence going into the season. We don't want to go play AA, get blown out, and then the kids don't want to play all season because they're afraid they're going to get killed all these games. So it's more of building confidence, get the kids ready, and improve throughout the season so we're ready for Sehoff at the end of the year.
I think the double whammy you had there was coming off of a state championship, right? But, again, you're now moving up to an age group where you see a significant difference between majors and minors. So it's the importance of having early success, but not getting too high and realizing that there's still lots to work on is going to be key, right? And that's for those parents. We said it, Jeff and I were talking earlier, just like enjoy that moment, right? Like, enjoy the wins, learn from the losses. And, Brent, you've known me for a number of years. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Like Carter started in might and squirt, and now he's out and doing his own thing. So I think it's one of those things that having a minor team, there's going to be some challenges that'll be there. But to me, that's exciting as a coach. I know in my tenure, we tried to go all minors one year, and unfortunately, it didn't work out where some of the kids got opportunities outside of the state, and can't blame them there. But to have a good nucleus of minors and then hopefully move it to the majors next year is key. What does your weekly practices look like?
Yeah, so we still practice at extra ice, and I think we're one of the only teams that practice extra ice every week. We like the smaller surface for make it closer in. So when they do get to the bigger ice, it's more open for them. They see the game a little bit better and see the ice better. So practice once a week. We're doing, more flow drills and things like that. And then you go Thursdays, we're on the big ice in Clearwater and practice there. The one thing that's a downside of Clearwater is you only get 50 minutes instead of an hour now.
Yeah.
So you got to be quick on, quick off, no screwing around. We got to get going because we don't have the time.
Yeah, the ice is a challenge. We got lucky where we were able to split ice with a couple teams for a third day for a little while, right? Half ice. And it's funny, we're talking about the parents and not seeing the big picture. We've talked about it before. Just the other day, last week's show with Dimitri and Sammy, they cringe at half ice. I mean, hell, you could put not every day. I'm not saying that we need to do this every day, but you could put 3 teams on the ice and still have a successful practice once a week or once every other week to get more ice time, just if the coach uses it right. Because as we all know, it's small area games. I mean, take the half of the ice, break it in half again, and do 4-on-4 on 2 different sides. Every kid's running. There's no downtime. Rest to work ratio super quick. Everything's tight. Everything's tightened. They're gaining so much experience and knowledge, and you've spent a third of the ice time or the ice money to get on that sheet of ice if you split it up the right way. Long-winded soapbox of getting to that point, but I think, Brett, you're saying that exact thing, and something needs to change.
And I'll say this, Vinny Prospel's national championship team back with the Scorpions, they didn't practice once at Clearwater. Every sheet was at extra ice.
Yep. If you use it right, the space has plenty of space in half a sheet or less, 100%. No, Brett, man, your vision and your logic aligns, I mean, so well with what we talk about and what other guests on the show have talked about. You know, if we could just figure out how to get 60 to 100 million to build a sheet of a couple more rinks, I think would be off the run and off to the races. But Brent, I do want to thank you for your time tonight, coming on the show, talking to us. I do want to take a minute and thank Adam and Bryce for talking with us over the weekend. Obviously, wish their teams the best of luck. Brent, wish your team the best of luck. And we want everybody, I don't care what jersey you put on this season, have fun, learn, develop, love the game, and learn to love the game so that when you're like us, you still find love in being involved in the game. Because I think that's what connects every single one of us. Brett, you, me, Kevin, every other guest we have on the show, everyone that listens and follows, it's the love of the game. It's what we do. So again, man, best of luck this season. And thank you for coming on tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Kevin, great show as always, buddy.
Yeah. Brent, thanks, buddy. Good to see you.
You too.
Wish you all the best this season. I'll be obviously paying attention. We'll be hooking up. Jeff, you'll
You'll find Kevin in the stands, wrapped in the blanket with a pumpkin spice latte and the winter. What do you call it? The toque up there in Canada on your head, there, bud.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fall. Enjoy the season, Brent. Best of luck to you, buddy. Kevin, until next time. Cheers.
We'll see you.